As an elementary school teacher whose children have grown up, I was drawn to volunteer overseas in the summer of 2007. I traveled to Madagascar, where I worked in an orphanage and a school that were both started by a Canadian woman named Mary Sherwood. Well, little did I know that instead of an experience of a month, this would become my life. Madagascar is a poor country off the southeast coast of Africa, where 3/4 of the people live on less than $1 a day. They are engaged in subsistence farming and barely eke out enough to feed and sustain their families. As the rice fields are passed down through the generations and divided, each person's parcel of land gets smaller and smaller, and eventually is no longer enough. As a result, many people have migrated to the cities to try to find work. It was at a school in the city where the poverty really struck me, and so did an idea of how we could help. As I accompanied the school children out into their yard to play, I noticed about 30 children's faces looking through the little slit in the security gate as they fought to get a peek at what the school children were doing. These are the children who will never get an opportunity to go to school. These children are destined to spend their days on the street, taking care of younger siblings, begging, sometimes stealing to find enough to eat, all because their parents cannot afford to send them to school. I came back to North America with a strong desire to build a school for children such as these. I asked some friends and members of our church, and they agreed to start a committee. The Madagascar School Project was born. While in touch with people I had met in Madagascar, I was directed to a particularly desperate group of people in a village called Mbataranana. Here, the church was willing to let us use a piece of land to build our school. During the Christmas holidays, I traveled there to see for myself. There were indeed lots of children, but many of them were working. It was decided that if we could raise enough money, approximately $23,000 Canadian, a school would be built for these children. In July 2008, we took the plunge and started building the school. With $17,000 in the bank, we prayed that we would be able to fundraise enough to finish the school and operate Luva Su, School of Good Inheritance. We were to have 2 classrooms. Since a teacher's salary is about $50 a month, a Malagasy teacher and I would each take a class, and I would have a translator to help me, as the children speak only their native tongue of Malagasy. In preparation for the building process, the foundation stones first had to be smashed off the rocks in the area, carted down to the site, and laid in place. Cement bags were purchased, but most everything else came from the local environment and labor of the people. The sand needed for the cement was recovered from the streams. The bricks were made in the rice fields, and the laborers, working barefoot, ate and slept there on site for 3 months. October 14th, 2008, the school was ready. The well had been dug, outhouses constructed, a rough kitchen built where a meal would be cooked daily for the children. 66 children were part of our school that first year. They sat in amazement and didn't dare touch the funny-looking, colorful things in the middle of their desks, known as crayons to us. But when they did, their faces lit up as they elbowed their friends to show what beautiful lines they could draw. The meal was cooked by a parent and her young 14-year-old friend every day, collecting all the food from the market 45 minutes away every Monday. Because we were offering their children a free education, the parents were asked to grow vegetables for us to feed the children the noonday meal. Each family was given a little plot of land near the school to tend daily. The children loved being in school and would usually arrive a good hour before class began at 8 a.m., some of them walking 5 to 6 kilometers to get there. At recess, they often chose to stay inside, looking at books or using chalk and crayons rather than being outside playing, which is what they had done all their lives up until their school was built. So it was that in the fall of 2009, when our first school, Luva Su, had been going for a year and running smoothly, we heard about another village, Ambui Bruce, that really wanted a school. The president of the township had gathered all the statistics and made a case in writing to the mayor about how they wished to have a school of their own.
In 2009, we bought land that was just a bit of pasture land at the time. Here is the school now, just 8 years later. We have big organic vegetable gardens to feed our staff and students. We have 720 students this year, and they range from junior kindergarten up to grade 13 graduation. Here is a grade 1 group in English class. Parents who can't afford the simple 50 cents a month in tuition can come and work in our gardens instead of paying. We have extensive organic vegetable gardens now, growing all the food for our students, and many fruit trees. Our cooks turn the produce into delicious meals for our students and staff. It's hard to believe that just $40 will feed a student a hot meal every weekday for the whole of the school year. We also feed babies and toddlers daily, a warm, protein-enriched pablum. The children clean their own school every Friday afternoon, working alongside their teachers and classmates. Here is a picture of our entire staff, teachers in white lab coats, cooks in burgundy, guards and gardeners round out our staff. We have a church service every Friday morning at our school. Parents often join us for this service. Here we are singing How Great Thou Art in Malagasy. We make our own electricity at the school using solar panels on the roof. Last February, over 100 parents a day helped us in our gardens. We also have 200 laying hens and are able to sell our eggs daily in neighboring villages. One of the criticisms of foreign aid is that if it operates in a country for too long, a dependency arises, and citizens begin to wait for help rather than to work to help themselves. That is why we are working towards self-sufficiency. Our goal is for our school to be able to fund itself by the year 2026. The gardens and the chickens will play a role, but we are also hoping to develop a business. This is the school committee, the group who will move the school into the future and toward financial stability. With good nutrition, medical care, and learning, the changes in the children are quite significant. The chapel on the beach has been a tremendous help to us in 2017. We are able to buy 2 class sets of Bibles and some much-needed course books for teachers. Our biggest need now is in the training and development of our people. They need the skills and confidence to take on the challenge of providing for themselves and their school. Our goal is to improve teaching, gardening, and business development so that a self-sufficient future is possible. None of this would have happened without God's help and the generosity of His faithful. There is no question that God's power working through us can do infinitely more than we can ask or imagine. Thank you, Chapel on the Beach, for your selfless giving. Much of what you see here is thanks to you. You are now a part of this story. This is our website if you have any questions or wish to stay in touch. Thank you.